Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. I'm dressed in Vivienne Westwood today, and in particular, politicians are criminals campaign vest and a Vivienne shirt. Politicians are indeed a big problem of a lot of the problems that we face today. I'm going to talk to you about, first of all, I'm going to thank you for the incredible amount of love and energy you've been sending my way, and in particular after I've posted the video on the being mistreated in a hospital, and the friend of the family, of our family, that is still struggling and fighting, to survive. You could check out the video in the description box down below, but this video today is to thank you and to raise even more awareness. I have not noticed until the outpour and the amount of comments that came in from you guys. Until I haven't read all of them, I have not noticed how devastatingly universal across the entire globe this situation, this problem, how devastating this problem is, how imperative it is to raise consciousness and awareness. So it's so painful, but we need to raise awareness. And so I'm going to read your comments. I'm going to go through some of your comments. We don't have a lot of time because the camera dies after 20 minutes. That's what it does. But I'm going to try to read as many as I can. Listen to them. This is you guys writing. The more we know, the more we share and spread this, and the more of a chance we have that these mistakes and this negligence stops happening. I know it's not much, but what else can I do? I'm a YouTuber. I make videos, and I want to make a video about this topic again. So I'm going to read your comments, guys. Here we go. Melu Marsa. How you doing, sweetie? Horrible. So upsetting. Malpractice all over the case. Very, very sorry. We could have also choked to death right there. So sorry. Praying for all of you. Thank you. Melo continues by saying, an infection in a hospital is a death sentence. Yes, the system is broken. You can't leave your loved ones alone in a hospital. You cannot. No words. You have to hire 24-hour care. I lost my mother due to careless issues. The lockup is unheard of. I agree with you. Plus, the doctors and hospitals stick together to cover their mistakes. A horror. I'm afraid for my future and my sons and everyone that is suffering. All of us. Emilio, how you doing, sweetie? This is terrifying. It sounds like a nightmare. I'm really sorry about your friend. I hope he gets through all of this and recovers quickly. The health system in America is completely messed up. In Europe, too. They literally treat human beings like worthless objects. So scary. Love is who I am. How you doing, sweetie? Questions. What happened to the Hippocrates Oath? Well, Hippocrates, my dear, I answered, the oath has been neglected, just like the patients. Kelly Love says, right down the toilet. Invisible Girl 422, how you doing, sweetie? Oh, my dear Dacob, this is such a heartbreaking story. I am glad he regained consciousness, but yes, malpractice lawsuits are in order. His poor relative being locked up. Unbelievable. Prayers and well wishes to all. Hospitals have nearly killed me 4 times in my life and have taken 3 close relatives within a week of being admitted. All happened in different states. This is an epidemic that has been happening for a very long time. I study natural healing and will never go into a hospital again on my own will. Again, I'm so very sorry and angry. Melinda writes, how you doing, Melinda, sweetie? Oh, Dacob, I'm utterly speechless, and my heart breaks to hear all of this. This is beyond cruel, heartless, and very scary indeed. This is making me sick. I'm so sad and so angry. I will definitely share your video, and I am sending love and prayers to your friend, his family, and to you and your family, and I pray that there will be justice. I wish I could do more. Thank you for sharing this very difficult and painful time with us. Long hanging Capis. How you doing, sweetie? America has made healthcare and war business models. I am happy this person didn't die, but he will never get what he needed from these places. Kelly Loves, how you doing, sweetie? Oh my gosh, let me side with you here. Similar to what happened to my dad, but all good in the end for him. But this is terrible and unethical. Like my husband always says, if you want to die, go to the hospital. We have to be with our loved ones 24/7 because you cannot count on the hospital. Many lives are lost too easily because of the hospital's opinion. They locked her up? This is sick. I cannot believe it. I'm so sorry. Bunifer23, how you doing, sweetie? This is outrageous. I felt my blood start to boil hearing this story. I am so sorry for your friend. No one deserves to be treated that way, especially not a veteran that put his life on the line for our country. I hope the state medical board investigates the hospital so that these kind of errors never happen to anyone again. When I was a teenager, my mom had a stroke and then was in a coma for several weeks. We were lucky that she was treated by good doctors and the sweetest nurses, but it was scary when she woke up because she couldn't remember my name, how to speak, write, walk, etc. After several months of therapy, everything came back to her. So there is hope for your friend. Peace F77, how you doing? Dear Dacob, so sorry to hear that. I worked in a hospital with patients like your relative. Unfortunately, this is the story of many of the patients that I worked with. I decided to leave my work and pursue my studies in preventive care. No one should end in the hospital like that. This is what we see every day in the hospital. Sometimes I feel like we, the caregivers, are so used to it, and we might have lost the idea of how things should be. The workload is crazy, and if you try to compare the medication, tubing, bandage, etc., prices with the prices in EU and Canada, you will laugh. This is a business. I hate to say this, but this is a business. Gloria Illustrations, how you doing, sweetie? Dacob, I'm so sorry to hear this. This is awful, sad, terrifying, and these things happen everywhere, every day. It's outrageous, so unfair, and yes, criminal. I hope this man, friend of yours, will get better with rehabilitation, physio, and I wish good doctors and that justice will be made for him and his family. I wish courage to all of them. Nobody should be treated like that. These things have to be told out loud. I went through an almost same kind of horror with my dad, who went to the hospital for tests and got his stroke there. It was more than 20 years ago. Nothing changes. And after my accident, I know too much of these doctors who stand together, even if they don't know each other. They take advantage on us. They abuse us. We can't legally do anything if we aren't millionaires, because everything is made to discourage us. Since what happened to my dad, then, I never go to a public hospital, even for a radiography. Take care. Spud0606, how you doing, sweetie? I had no option but to go to a public hospital when I had stage 4 colon cancer at the age of 32. I went through radiation, chemotherapy, and a second surgery to get rid of the scar tissue from my first surgery. I have had better health care than any of my friends, family that have private insurance. I am still going for checkups every 6 months and can honestly say that my care has been excellent. There is also some positive, where it's not all negative. There's also hope out there. I just want to share all of your comments, guys, because everybody has a story to share, and it's amazing. After I posted my first video, each and every one of you answering has a story to tell, has issues. We always think we're going to always be healthy. We're going to live forever. These problems and issues and diseases are not going to touch us until they touch us. And they've all touched us. We've all been touched by all of this negativeness. And this is the best way I know how to deal with it, is to share these stories. And I'm so grateful for you guys for having written them so that I can share them now with even more people. This is vital. I think it is so imperative that we share Knowledge is power. Hannah Light, how you doing, sweetie? I am so sorry to hear of such an experience for your friend. When my mother was in the hospital, I would have to state that she is my biological mother. I am mixed race and look like my father. The staff was polite, but they always wondered why I was there. A mother or parent isn't determined by biological traits, but I said biological to make a point to the staff when they asked. Robert Perricone, how you doing, sweetie? Your story is all too frequently happening in our system. One thing to do is to contact an ombudsman. I hope I pronounced this correctly. Ombudsman. Now, the ombudsman had been contacted, by the way, because I did tell my friends to do that, but the ombudsman worked for the hospital. So that didn't turn out very well. And independently, well, he's out of that hospital now, so the issue is different. But I'm going to read the comment on because it might be very important also for other people to know this. And ombudsman, I hope I pronounced it correctly, it's spelled OMBUDSMAN, is a patient advocate. Each state provides ombudsman services, whatever state you live in. Contact your state health department and look up health from an ombudsman. They are available to all of us. Many are volunteers who are trained by the state programs. Others are professionals in their own right. Check this out for better care. I'm very sorry for your relative. Hugs, Bob. Not my relative, but friend of the family. But we clear that up. Thank you. Allison Levy. Hi, Allison. How you doing, sweetie? And unfortunately, most people nowadays say that the sick, elderly, orphaned, and disabled are poor because it's their fault. That's how they voted. God bless you for speaking out. Kimberly Nori, how you doing, sweetie? That is terrifying. I'm sorry for you and yours. Good luck to us all. Angela Silver, how you doing, sweetie? Hi, Dacob. You look gorgeous as always. Thanks. Honey, I believe you are referring to a healthcare proxy. Yes, a healthcare proxy, something we should all sign and get ready before we enter a hospital so that we get things sorted out in case we do end up in a coma, heaven forbid, or something goes wrong, that the doctors know who they have to contact and who has the authority to make life or death decisions upon us, whether or not to pull the plug if we end up unconscious and are put on respiratory machines and stuff like that. Sabrina Spellman, how you doing, sweetie? How can a hospital be so lazy and irresponsible? No one has the right to decide such a difficult decision, stopping life support, except for the family members. What the hell is wrong with this facility? This place is the complete opposite of what a hospital is supposed to be. You and your friend's family is in my prayers. I pray that all of you heal physically and emotionally, as well as win your battle against this hospital. This facility should know that they are not dealing with a lifeless object, but a human being. I am glad you have shared this story because it has opened up my eyes to something that happens more often than we think. Have hope that things will get better. I will do what I can to help you by sharing this with the people I know. PC, how you doing, sweetie? Super Dacob, my heart goes out to you and all the family members of your friend. Will you relay this message to him as well? Yes, I have, PC, and I'm going to read it here as well, so all of y'all out there can also hear. His experience is heartbreaking. I'm so sorry he and all of you are going through this horrific experience. The care you describe sounds like something from the dark ages. I am grateful he has all of you that closed rank around him in a protective stance, which sadly is needed at times in the healthcare environment. Statistics show, the last time I read them, that medical errors are the third leading cause of death in U.S. hospitals. Also, the VA hospitals have been having problems for a long time and was somewhat exposed in the 2014 Healthcare Administration scandal. Due to these facts and various other reasons, bedside advocates are vital. My respect goes to the family member who quit her or his job to be close to your loved one, although it's a tragic testimony of the state of the healthcare system. She or he is crucial and can be the cohesive link and voice for the patient who is unable to speak for themselves. For example, I have many experiences where I was needed to defend a loved one at the bedside. I will relate just a couple of examples. A family member could have died by aspirating or choking on her own vomit twice. The first time, when she was having an active heartbreak, MI, I quickly turned her on her side, although she was surrounded by paramedics. They wrongly assumed she was not having a heart attack because they couldn't see ST elevation in their portable EKG monitors. Needless to say, they couldn't see it in their monitor because it was portable and just showed 2 leads. She was, in fact, having a posterior myocardial infarction, which was evidenced in the 12-lead EKG taken at the hospital and by positive troponins in her blood work. Guys, forgive me for pronouncing these words wrong because I don't know many of these words. They are too medical language specific, so I apologize for that. The second time was in the ICU when my loved one was septic and unconscious, but was lying flat. She started to vomit. I lifted her head and pressed the code button. The medical team ran in and admitted I saved her life. This has been my experience time and time again. Furthermore, I too am a healthcare professional, and I hear your plea. I will continue to work hard to never forget to care for my patients as human beings, as living souls that deserve to be treated with compassion and dignity. I know and work with others that are like-minded, who demand the same standard of care, of heart, mind, and expertise in themselves. So I have been on both sides of the medical care equation. Mistakes may happen because we are human, but if it is due to negligence or incompetence, it must not be tolerated. The lack of transparency, accountability, and compassion is inexcusable. On another note, Super Dacob, it is vital that the person vested with the healthcare decision making get access to the medical chart in order to get an accurate understanding of the sequence of events. It sounds like the family lovingly did research, but they still need hardcore facts. For example, it sounds like he vomited in a position that was conducive to aspiring vomit into his lungs. But was he placed in that position after he lost consciousness and they laid him flat because he was in a code? Did they have to do compressions on his chest and drop a breathing tube, which would require him to lie flat, and then he vomited? Very important to get the sequence of events in order to plead your case. Sorry if this was lengthy, but hoped some of it helped. Patient relations and the ethics committee of the hospital your loved one is at should be assisting this family. Thank you so much, PC. This is a wonderful comment. And we're moving forward slowly but surely. Guys, time is up. There's so much more to read, so many incredible comments, so many more comments and so many more stories to share. Maybe in another video coming soon again. I just don't want to, I want to make it clear that this is vital and important. It's not always fun and pleasant to make these videos and to listen to these videos, but guys, it is important. It is important also for me. It was important to share with you the facts that there's a lot of negligence out there, a lot of bad things happen, but there's also still some incredible doctors, of which some of them have written to us today, that still care, that still have a soul, and that still care for other human beings' lives. We're not talking about those people that are unfortunately way too little. We're talking about the ones that do not care anymore. And we need to wake up, we need to stand together and united and fight against this and make it very clear to whoever decides to be part of a profession, of the medical profession, only for greed and money and power. They're in the wrong place and they have to leave right away and leave space to the ones that really love and care, who do not prioritize the money, who do not prioritize contracts with pharma industries just to gain some access to even more money by administering certain drugs rather than others to patients that maybe should not even use that particular prescription drug, but something else that would help them or benefit them more, but do not get those drugs prescribed to them, those medications prescribed to them, because there are certain contracts in place behind the scenes that we know nothing about. Thank you guys so much for watching. Share this with your loved ones. If you care for people, let them know. This is vital. This is important. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your comments and share your stories in the comment section down below. If you haven't already but do wish to, please consider subscribing to my channel here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Very important to always remind ourselves, despite it all, we stick together and we never give up on love. Love you guys. See you soon. Take care. Bye.